Three, two, one. You are live. This is the church of tomorrow morning, and I have a distinguished elder with me today, Griot One, and he will take over from here.
What's up, brother? Good morning. Welcome to the church of tomorrow morning. It's nothing like it. Brother, can you elaborate and let them know what the church is about while I get my thoughts together?
Yeah, church of tomorrow morning, and I am a member, and I had to learn that we sometimes carry over the things of our past, our Christian supposedly upbringing and values, that these are things that were passed down to us. We had no choice in that until I met this brother, Griot One, who told me about the church of tomorrow morning. And what that meant is there's no donations because God doesn't need any money. All you have to do is be willing to listen to the truth, okay? That was supposed to be the purpose of the church, okay? To teach you how to live a better life and talk about that spirit that is so integral to your being. To take that, like they used to do in Africa, take the spirit of a young boy or a young girl and teach and mold that spirit into a man or a woman, okay? The church of tomorrow morning, it doesn't leave no doubt about the truth as far as we can see it, and it doesn't have to talk about what we learned in the past. We talk about the here and now and moving forward. We have a revolutionary standpoint, but we are not revolutionary as far as guns and weapons are concerned. Just like they weaponize food, what we do is we weaponize the truth. And we try to take you into a conscious mindset so that you can move this community forward instead of backwards. Because
in other words, whatever was your problem yesterday, you can wake up tomorrow morning and solve it, eliminate it. All you got to do is utilize the truth, which we're going to bring some of it to you today in a sarcastic fashion sometime. One of the things, I had a church story that I'll tell about these people going up to heaven. So there's this long line, and they got this one brother in the line, probably several like him, but the one that I know. And as he's walking forward, everybody, the Creator gives just from his wings, and they fly off. The next one go up, they get their wings. This is heaven they told us about, with the wings and the milk and honey and the clouds underneath your feet, and you can just fly off and float off and meet your ancestors or your elders, whoever you want to, that's up there in that realm. So the brother walks up, and the Creator looks at him, knowing all his transgressions of an ex-liar, an ex-thief, an ex-fornicator, and an ex of many other negative things, but he changed his life just enough to make it to the line. It was time for the wings ceremony when the Creator reached over, and what he did, he put one wing on his brother. So the brother started flapping it, and wondering why he gave me one wing, and all of a sudden he started going down, because there's nothing under your feet, and there's heaven to hold you up. And he's flapping all his might with his little one wing. And he go down to where he belongs. So sometimes your faith, F-A-T-E, can be your faith, F-A-I-T-H. So for all y'all believers out there, I just hope when you're in that line, you don't wind up with one wing. So I wanted to cover something, getting off the sarcastic aspect of things. There's more coming. My retirement date is coming up. I'll be 70 years old pretty soon, and I think that's enough time to dedicate myself to my people, which I've been dedicating myself to Black people, our people, Africans all over the world, from local and international standpoint. So I want to use examples of why, when dealing with the hardest job in the world, which is taking our people from the NIGGR to the Negro to Black to African American to African to human being.
Mm.
So now you got to conquer, as far as consciously teaching a lot of our people, basically the majority of our people, with all these inflictions of the NIGGR, you have to first eliminate that. Then you have to deal with us in our Negro state. Then you have to deal with us in our Black state. Then you have to deal with us in our African American state. Hopefully you get to deal with us when we're in our total African spiritual state, and then get to the human being state. So this is your job, to educate our people. Many people throughout history have did this, have tried their best, and this is where they wind up, because, you know, our people have a tendency to, in debt, they honor you, but then mock which you stood for after you died. Case in point, this is what happens to people. This is where their spirit takes them after being so burnt out from dealing and helping our people. Number one, Martin Luther King, debt. Malcolm X, debt. Marcus Garvey, basically excommunicated, put out the country. I may have used the wrong word in excommunicated when dealing with that. W. Du Bois left for Ghana. Kwame Ture left the country. Brother
Baldwin.
I got one more I'm thinking of. But James Baldwin had to travel. He had to go overseas for a minute. He came back. He had to experience something that just wasn't here. But this what happens to you. Frederick Douglass and Jack Johnson drove them to white women. There's so many things that'll take place. Randall Robinson, and a lot of people may not remember him. He wrote the book The Death, but he started an organization called Trans-Africa Corporation. He became so disenchanted and disenfranchised that he left America. He even wrote a book about it, I think, called Leaving America.
Mm-hmm.
And all the other brothers that stood on the front lines and community organizers that dedicated their lives to our people. And for those who still standing tall, I definitely give them credit, no matter how much our people don't appreciate them. But that's what I said earlier. You would dedicate your life and these people mock you in their death by some of the same things you talk and speak about. They go out and do the same thing. Same thing you spoke about, they basically dance on your grave. So that's why my retirement date is coming soon. I'm going to retire myself from dealing with our people and let the younger generation take over. I'll do like Denzel said, I'll go on and sit in the back of the bus and let y'all drive the bus. Because you're not going to drive me to the point. Even sickness, even death, just dealing with our people, because that's what it costs you. So.
While we're talking about that, before we lose that thought, can you talk to them about the talents in 10? And because a lot of people, and I had to revisit that today when I was listening to the video and trying to look through the book, is the plan that W.E. Du Bois had and what they did with that plan.
Yeah, well, that's one of the books that black folks should read. I think in early 1900s, Du Bois wrote a book called Soul of Black Folks, I think 1904, somewhere in that era, the time frame. And folks should recruit and constantly add on to that 10%, and that 10% will represent black folks in America politically and economically and socially.
Mm-hmm.
For advancement of all our people. So I think anybody out there, that's one of the books you should pick up if you're conscious and interested in reading something that probably touch your soul.
What I see is that Talented 10, it was formulated, it was a good plan. The only problem is they took up the roles as their masters did, okay? So they wanted to be leaders, and they didn't want to teach anybody what they learned, and they did not want to follow the plan. And after watching their masters, okay, because see, we are at fault a lot of times because we don't hold.
That's what happened, brother. When you have to work, when you have to go to work for somebody, when you have to work for your enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Your money, and the way and how you have to live, and just to have a quality of life, you become compromised. Your mission becomes compromised, and everybody, some people with money. I think you had a video the other day talking about for the love of money.
Yes.
Some people for survival mode and for the and once they get a certain amount of money and see where that money could take them, they forget their mission, they forget their revolutionary spirit.
They forget their brothers and sisters in community.
So that 10%, a lot of them lost their way because they were living 10% better than anybody else, almost 50% better than any Southern black man or woman that was down there, without an education, without any type of intellectual capacity to understand a lot of things.
And so what did that do to the black community?
Well, it's a double-edged sword because in one factor that mindset or that level of education that he was talking about, it did work its way down in the community in certain programs, even when he started the Niagara movement, and basically the NAACP.
And that's my point.
Some white folks took in turn. They didn't understand at that time what we understand today. All this was new. Just like America, with America is basically a new country. It's just like living in this place as it formulated itself, everything was new to us. And we still overcame that. So we're in the framework of him doing what he's doing. It touched a whole lot of people, and it's still touching us today. Matter of fact, that W. Du Bois principles was responsible for a lot of what we have still accomplishing today, and still the way people think. It was really revolutionary.
So tell me where the bullet comes in at. Because most people, and even me, I had to kind of, and I still don't know as much as I need to know about
we always want to put tags on people. That's why you ask people say, well, hey, what you going to tag me? And they take a tag and they write Boulay on it and stick it on the back of you, Mm-hmm. Or they write, whatever, ignorant, some tag. He's this or he's that, he's an atheist, the atheist tag and all this type of stuff. That's just nothing but a tag.
But you don't think that's a reality, that the bullet?
It's just a tag applied to people that's been compromised.
Got it. All right.
Education and went on their own because they understand when you work for somebody, man, when you go to work for somebody, you depend on them for your livelihood. That right there is where the number one
you bought and sold.
One reason why our freedom is so hard to attain and so hard to get. Because we have no economic foundation. We have no land here. We have no place to call our own where we can separate ourselves to have our own power instead of depending on some powerful person to create a certain amount of power that we need. And the power in this country is fucking money. It's still money.
Yeah. Well, okay. So let's look at these recycled human beings you were talking about.
The recycled human being.
The recycled. You said there were 10 personalities that you came across.
Yeah. and it's 10 personalities. Out of those 10 personalities, as you go through life, the older you get, you basically only see a recycled version of those 10 personalities. You got it?
So
after a while, you see them over and over again, where it becomes a rerun, and where you realize that's basically what you're living by, being around these type of people. A series of reruns, where you really don't even want to go out your house anymore. You really don't even want to go in contact with people because you keep meeting this rerun of another person.
And sometimes
you're looking for somebody new. You're looking for somebody who, does anyone else exist? Does any type of other personality exist except these reruns that you constantly run into?
So that means our families teach us to become who we are at our young age, and some of us break free and some of us do not. And the reason why I brought up these tags that you're talking about is because there's a very small portion of our, and I don't want to say community because it's nothing but neighborhoods, as Dr. Claude Anderson says, but some of us are living so well who don't do anything for the community, but yet the community praises them like they are some kind of saint when you don't give nothing back. And so why have respect for people who have lost their way? We already know by looking at this year's election that a lot of our communities or our voter base is lost. I seen a man on a video with a Trump blanket running around talking about he's so happy that Trump is in office, but he's got $2.7 million in the bank. Most of us don't have that. And we know that this man don't care nothing for us.
Slave-minded Negro performing. I've seen the video myself. I think it was a brother called Charleston White. But he says that he plays characters, but your character is your character. You can't hide. It's not a character. That's your character.
A fox.
You know you?
A fox.
Yeah.
So today it reminded me of, you get the same thing over and over, like recycled. He just got through talking about most people who read their Bibles and everything else, they just get a recycle with the things that they know. But today we're attempting to deliver the word, you see, and the true word. And the true word really stems from that mountain or that fountain within you.
You remember we talked about how they recycle the religion, since this is a church tomorrow morning, how they recycle the religion and they put the cross on the wall. But they put the cross and you walk around with the cross on your neck. Yeah. But yet still, you have pictures of people going to vote with dogs being bit on them, with hose pipes, and got them against the wall. And this picture, you don't have a frame of this picture. These are the people that the reason why you can go do the things you do today. Yeah. The ones sitting at lunch counters and people throwing ketchup on them and spitting on them and throwing mustard in their face, just to set up for you and I to go sit at these lunch counters, these restaurants that was white only. And we go and spend all our money, hotels and digs that was once white only. And we go and spend tons of money to be in those places. So that just goes to show you,
It shows me that all we trying to do is be like the one that hates us the most.
We don't put no picture or image of those things in our cross, like that cross, what that represent. Right. That cross, whoever was on that cross, whenever that cross don't mean nothing to us from what these people did for us at this time, in this day, and for us to enjoy these freedoms that we got. That cross it had nothing to do with us enjoying these freedoms, enjoying these civil liberties
and what
that,
people
that we take for granted today. It was those people, those young folks. It was those farmers up in Alabama and Mississippi, those little small towns that they had to go register to vote and was scared to death that they couldn't go because some plan was waiting there. They had some tests. How many jelly beans are in a jar? How many bubbles in a bar of soap? These are the kind of things they had to put up with until activists like Kwame Ture and Martin Luther King with the SCLC and these organizations that went down there and farmed. We don't have pictures of that. See, we don't have images of those type of things. We don't have pictures of the W.E. Du Bois. We don't have pictures of, Fannie Lou Hamer. We don't have pictures of Harriet Tubman and all these freedom fighters and people that did things for us. But we got pictures of Jesus. See, we got pictures of a big cross sitting in our house. We got
brainwashing. But, ladies and gentlemen,
that somebody that did absolutely nothing for us. A man that lived 3,000 to 6,000 years ago, I don't even know the date, because they made up these stories so much, you don't really even know if he existed in the form that they told you, in the stories that they told you happened during those particular times, written by several different people, Luke and John and all these different people, And I think we covered that a week ago.
Well, you sent me a video.
Grandmother's name, but they know these people's names, they know these stories, They know everything written on them. They could quote them on Sundays and Isaiah 12, read this to the people. No, you need to read great-grandmother 12, Right. You need to read what happened to how many children she had. Where was she? What plantation was she on? How long did it take? What slave ship they came over, Or were they already here? And what they here before this African migration, not migration, this African kidnapping took place. Did they come during the Great Migration where black folks was already melanated people all throughout the world, Africans,
Let's go back to something that was sent, and we saw this morning about Russian icons and the fact that Putin has released some more artwork of the Byzantine era that directly shows the color of people during that time, before the whitewashing. And you need to go to this video that just came out where Putin has put out more black artwork, true art that shows you the depiction of black people being in Europe long before people were talking about Europeans being there. But it also talks about the church at that time, Most people are praising things they know nothing about. And I'm not here to tell you what to believe. But when you don't have all the facts and when you don't know what you're talking about, the people you should be praising look like you. But we can't believe that.
They're scared to hear the truth. Because the truth forces you to change. And that's the power of the churches tomorrow morning. You deal with the truth. You deal with yourself. You deal with your self-history. Deal with the ugly things that you have done and change those things. Do that like that clear glass of water. Clarify. Get all the pollutants out of your mind, out of your soul, out of your spirit, man. And then tomorrow morning you wake up and you start off with that clear glass and you leave it clear. You don't put no more poison in your mind. No more poison in the spirit. No more stealing, no more lying, no more whatever you do that was a problem to you. Wake up tomorrow morning and stop it.
But you asking people to stop being a slave.
That's part of the revolutionary aspect, brother. Which only means change.
Well, when you talked about earlier,
Get back to Putin and the other ones. I don't even want to call that man's name start with a T. Incoming president. Yeah, that's just white men being white men. That's what they do. They spread fear and panic throughout the world. We ain't up but the search at the bottom, worried about what they gonna do, what they gonna drop this, and everybody running around all in panic mode. And man, did you see this and see that? These people don't care nothing about that. All that's part of the game they play with us. It's different over in China. He live in High off the hog. All the people out the hog eat the best food, got the best whatever. Women, the best of the best of the best of the best.
Yes.
That anything life has to offer, some bomb on this man, while this man gonna drop a bomb on them. It's a game they play. And they got to spend a little money on a little military action now and then to cause more fear and panic, you know? That's why they still got a religious war going on over there on the other side of the world and on the Palestinian people even today. It's still over some religious, you know, the religious crap, that's what. I don't know how many thousands of years old
they want that land. But I tell you, before we close out, because we coming up on our time,
since we come up on time, let's get some modern thing on
okay.
Black hate crime bill. Why? And this has a little tinge of sarcasm in it also now. But how can we, as a people, without first stop hating ourselves and doing the things to each other because of hatred of self, the way our young folks, and I mean, even when I was out there, I seen the same thing. The murder of each other, the outright disdain and disrespect of each other. And we want a black hate crime bill when we be the number one in jail because of the way we hate ourselves. First, every time a young black man takes the life of another black man, what is that? That's a hate crime? Is that a hate crime, or is that just considered a wipeout?
That's a hate crime. That's a hate crime too.
See my point?
I do.
So let's stop the hate before we sit there and say anything about a hate crime bill. When we got more hatred inside of us for each other, that has to be dealt with.
Yeah, well.
And hold somebody else accountable for doing to us
what we do to ourselves. All right, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Church of Tomorrow Morning. And I hope you got something out of that. But even if you did not, just hear our words, research for yourself. You don't have to believe anything that you hear on here. But, just look at this one thing. You believe somebody that don't look nothing like you before you believe somebody that you might know a little something that look just like you. All right. Ending. Sid, I got to go to the bathroom.